Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crusader King Street Nubia series here on the Lord Master channel. As you can see in the map, that Nobadia has expanded again, but this time in the month of Aliki, in which we're getting the control growth up faster, and in a year's time, lots of fortune is going to be made. And then, well, I decide to, don't expand anymore, don't fight any more wars. Just with all this great income that you'll be having, well, I suggest that you ought to start saving up some money. Unless you want to spend big right now. Because I think my main priority right now for all this is try to get more renown. And why more renown? Well, they have put this time's legacy on. So I decided to go for maritime trade due to one of the places I hold that's in my domain is right by the coast of the Red Sea, so we have access to this. But more importantly, I want this. Not because of the difference of culture and opinion waves that go up, but it's the idea of reinforced relations to the Silk Road communities can be taken more than once in a lifetime. The Bawaja pirates, Courtiers is kind of whatever to me, but as well as, well, present Silk Road's entertainers as another way of improving opinion of another person. You just gotta have more options. And this would also be good. Stewardship for level of fame as a way of compensating for not having our holy site be held with the Coptic faith in Dongola. The holy site of it is not held by someone of the Coptic faith. Instead, it's the Ethiopian church, which do share the same religious head, which we consider as righteous, which is alright, but yeah, more power to the king than to me. And I gotta find ways to get more stewardship. Not to mention, increased chances of getting a deal event if we ever decide to travel around more. And all that. So I think in a year or two's time I will finally use the reinforced relations of a certain Silk Road community that I may need. And I mentioned that I would like to get more renown. Well, one of the ways to do that is, well, build a local Christian religious building. Hardly ever do that. And since it makes such good income, I think it would be possible. So as Marquess, I wish to show my devotion to God. I wish to donate funds to construct a new Coptic religious building in my domain. The local community will spiritually benefit from this new structure, and everyone will know my piety. So either choose to build a chapel or church or a monastery, and net different boons of piety, prestige, and renown, and a matching character modifier as well as a county modifier for your realm capital. And not receive these bonuses immediately, as construction will take place anywhere from a year or to 2 years. This is similar to, over in the Eastern world. Whenever you're a Buddhist, there's that decision to build a local Buddhist religious building. But this applies to Christians here too. So for historical context, in the medieval era, Christian royals and nobles often founded religious sites as a public show of piety or as penance. For instance, William the Conqueror's marriage to Matilda of Flanders was rejected by the Pope on the grounds of consanguinity. The couple later agreed to found 2 churches as penance. As another example, William's rival for the throne, Harold Godwinson, refounded the Waltham Abbey in 1060. According to legend, he did this as thanks for having been miraculously cured of paralysis as a child. But hooray for doing this in the name of renown. So we ought to build a large monastery. So I do get a little bit of each of the level of devotion that you have. So 25. So I assume when you're dutiful, that's 25, 50, 75, 100. So 100 renown for each level of devotion. I mean, but I believe that's how that works, right? Not to mention it helps the development, but also my personal monthly lifestyle experience. So it'll cost you 150 gold for the glory of the Lord. For those of stars such as myself, one way for us to show our devotion to God as good cops is to found a Christian religious sites. In doing so, we not only improve the spiritual lives of the locals, but also perform penance for our sins and to demonstrate our piety. I have thus ordered the construction of a large Coptic monastery. Here, monks and nuns can focus on spiritual matters and study theology and the scriptures in a peaceful environment. This sizable structure may also host a number of services for the local community, such as through hospitals, schools, and various economical buildings like breweries. All in all, this building will take some time to finish, but I'm sure the wait will be worth it. I look forward to its completion. So when this is finished, I get all the good stuff, and yes, you will gain 100 renown. Send a colonel devotion. Okay, that's step 1. Oh yes, commission a donor portrait. I don't do enough of that either. So, I prefer close family. This donor portrait will depict myself and my close relatives. Gain bonus of renown based on your rank, which is Duke. Should be another 100 renown. So 100 renown right now, while 100 renown later on the other. So for centuries, powerful but pious Christians have demonstrated devotion by sponsoring portraits themselves within larger works of art, such as in churches and cathedrals. I wish to sponsor one of such painting of myself. So the amount of base piety, prestige, and legitimacy gained based on your level of devotion and rank. Get on renown for all this. This is applied to all Christian faiths that does not have the anaconism doctrine. So for context, in medieval Christendom, from England to Ethiopia, people commissioned artwork of Christian scenes or themes, including their own likeness. Sometimes it was subtle. For instance, a nativity scene might have the donor depicted as a random commoner on the side. Other times it was more explicit, like in Nubia here, where royals were often depicted in large, visible, beautiful paintings on a church's walls. In the name of the Lord. I have approached the Nubian artisans and Coptic priests about commissioning a donor portrait of myself in a work of Christian religious art at a local church. Perhaps the one depicting a scene from the scriptures. While the focus of this artwork is of course the religious aspect, I specified this donor portrait's secondary focus should be on depicting myself and my close relatives. Hope all see this religious art to appreciate how my lineage is filled with people with admirable religious qualities. The Sai family should forevermore be associated with deep devotion to God. Praise be to the Lord. And you do that every 10 years. So we make great of money these days. I think we should do that more often. I had to travel on itinerary, which costs a lot. Local arbitration is, it improves levies, tax, or development. That only applies to wherever your capital is. It only costs prestige, not money, so at times it is necessary to meet the local sheriffs and mayors to ensure that every step of the hierarchy works as intended. Subjects are sure to appreciate the gestures. Do it. Invested in development, as if we actually need it. No need for that. Let's get going. I'm going to be a bit more settled down here. And another thing I would like to do when I raise all this money is, well, start building some temple holdings, because it gives you renown. Because we have this this tradition, this cultural tradition, religious patronage. We need to do more of that, because there is some room, if I have a lot of money to even build these. We got to get it, because, you know, in my lifetime I hope that there's room for 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll be getting a lot of renown if you have all the funds to do so. So I should dedicate to the rest of my life to dedicate the rest of my life to have more stewardship. I would go for cutting cornerstones. Every little bit helps. But build churches. That's right. Be the church builder. Do get a bit of renown just for doing that. Could do inspection. Oh yes, now border tasks. Since I got very good stewardship, just do that stewardship related thing once. Oversee land sales. Due to the mixing of different peoples and the lucrative nature of the Naz agricultural land, it's important to involve the local administration in certifying legitimate land sales in this region. It's only 31 gold. So, success of this bureaucratic task can be increased if you put more money into that. So, success, you gain prestige. All the counties completely control of the frontier between Egypt and Nubia gain development growth, and as well as proved opinion, possibly form friendship with a courtier or a vassal. Do it. Alright. Selling and purchasing private land happens in many places, not just the frontier of Egypt and Nubia, of course. However, because of the political circumstances of the frontier, or the validity of these transactions are often under scrutiny. Officials such as myself, the Lord of the Mountain, have to often be involved in these matters. A major land sale is about to take place in the territories I manage along the frontier, and the seller I requested that I and Obizo, as one of my subordinates, serve as witnesses when the sale document is signed. Obizo, who was asked to be a witness as he has connections with some of the parties involved, has suggested that we dedicate extra resources to ensure this goes smoothly in case there are legal disputes or other complications. So, 6% chance success, in which again, but if it's a failure, you lose. Put money into that, you double the chance, and much less a failure. Only 25 gold, okay, will do. I trust Obi's judgment then. As requested, Nubia and I served as the highest ranking witnesses at the major land sale that took place in the lands I manage in the Egyptian-Nubian frontier. Per the usual bureaucratic procedure, the documents we signed first listed King Gondan as the supreme authority of the land, followed by the other officials in order of precedence. Overall, the procedure went smoothly and there were no complications, and local nobles involved in this transaction thanked us for our time with a modest banquet and some obligatory trinkets as gifts. If anything, this is all a little boring. This will reflect me well as the Lord on the Mountain. Opinion up. Every county completely controlled goes up with its development. There. Just some routine stuff. mud brick towers is built. Oh yes, one thing though. I mean, yeah, these are all gonna go away pretty soon. So things will get easier from here. So now we have a bit of defense for this area. As we continue to slowly convert the territory. While the cult of Mandus remains the majority. Wish there's someone that we can raid, but the only one that's believable is, well, your own king. Largely prepared. I got a grandson, Stefano. They don't have the money, and yeah, we have a true settlement. That's another thing you could do. Try to seize goods, which is stewardship a challenge against certain somebody. What's embezzling if you steal it from another country rather than, you know, your own liege or fellow vassal or anything like that? Recently looted expires soon. Well, this isn't going to go away anytime soon. But got it under full control now. And we're going to get more holding taxes out of it. So remember, it says it's to be done in 3 years' time. But control will slowly decline because of, you know, reasons. Because of varying cultural tensions, along with other factors. Actually, no, it doesn't go away. So, excuse me. It's not until 2 years. I misread that. Well, in the meantime, I want you to increase development over there, which is in actuality, make it build faster. Holy War for Marquess. We're under attack. Oh, hell. This is a defense of the realm. Marquess is dear to me. Fortify the borders. I'm going over there quickly before I will officially join the war. We just want to up the defenses, especially these. Gotta run. Gotta run to the king. I'm escorted to King Adonijah's throne where he beckons me to approach and address him. I coolly outlined the threat posed by Ramel's neighbors, drawing the attention to the kingdom of Lemia and the risk posed to my lands. After listening to the speech, he sits in silence for several words and mulls my petition over. Eventually, he addresses me. He makes some good arguments, but if I'm to agree to request, I need something in return. Surely you see the benefit of both of us if we come to an arrangement. What's his opinion of me? 30. Hook on me and 50 gold. Like king, perhaps I explained it poorly. I'll try to convince by other means. He thinks for a moment and then cries, Salve, I require your counsel on this matter. The charming court musician steps forward eagerly, clutching a robe. Yes, a most delicate affair, my lord. Duke Antiquity, the king's spymaster, watches quietly from the sidelines if I were to outmaneuver him publicly. Having said, my Cole does always liked me, perhaps he would make my case. The king turns back to me and his attention is already moving elsewhere. I need to do something! Oof. This is the best chance, though it's not a good chance. I know just staying the trip will be up. He's unconvinced. So we're not going to get additional fort defense out of this. Come on, we must make haste on that. Okay. Damn, you're an excellent one. We need you at the ready. Could demand payments to some people. Well, we know the Egyptian army is coming soon, and this threatens my territory. So now we're considered friends for this. Move it up to the capital. I'll take the lead. All we gotta do is just defeat the Egyptian army and take the war to them if need be. And our sermon today as Episcopal concerns the glorious lives of considered the glorious Virgin Mary and her importance and role in our lives. We Nubians, unlike those of many nations, noble claims, always remember to honor the women in our lives, for it is through them that we're reminded of Mary's sanctity and their very being, as women also carry this sanctity. Indeed, there is no shame in revering our mothers. We've had this event before long ago. I actually want to pick up 3 more traits. Just to get the long hike option. And then I'll switch to a little bit of stewardship just to lower the construction costs, as I said. I think my priority for the last couple of years of my reign as I get older is be a church builder. That's what I want to be known for. We already captured an enemy trade route. That'll definitely jump up our income during time of war. Look at that. Whatever goes on in Darfur doesn't concern me, but here in the Egyptian-Nubian frontier, this concerns me. Do not move anywhere until we see them where they are, then we'll engage. But at least in the meantime, just at least move to here. Unless they come from the sea. Oh, there they are. As things stand, my liege planned military exercise to hone our commander's skills and to better prepare everyone for war. Following a complex theoretical and practical military exercise implemented, it is with joy that I reckon my military skills have developed further. Under the right circumstances covered by my areas of expertise and my value of field commander approved. Day to remember. Alright. That's excellent. These are only vassal reinforcements. Don't try to chase them. Stay in your territory. Glad we were able to recruit a few knights before hostilities broke out. Praise God. I just see word that the large Coptic monastery ordered to be built has been completed in Fader. With its great size and decent sized monastic community, it will provide many important services to nearby settlements and serve as a local center of learning and faith. I'm glad to have founded such a religious site. Another 100 renown to my name. Need to train the commanders to slowly increase the knight's effectiveness with time. If you're going to take the war to them, go to Aswan. 4 levels lower over there, and much more manageable. You still don't have siege weapon yourselves? And I guess you're gonna give up, Alfash. Like this is land as a lost cause to you. But we're on standby. They could come in 3 ways. Actually, let me advance to Swan. You don't have siege weapons. I do. No. Go over there. At least we've upped the fort level a bit. I got pretty good commanders, but obviously I'm way better. Not to mention some improvements have been made regarding my commander trait. We have some great warriors and not so great ones. That tends to happen when you have a large number of knights that fight for you. Every 2nd of November, we get trade in for additional gold. The enemy siege is faltering. Disease rots their host. Word spreads that Pestilence stalks the enemy camp outside of it now. Men sickened with fever, water turns foul, and graves multiply by the day. Their resolve falters alongside their health. Wally Buttrell's Negev's army is depleted by 10. That small army, I was hoping for the main one. But nevertheless. We have all the advantage we need. Alright. Capture the camp, direct the vessels of enemy. There was also 3 more out there. Move up. Captured enemy foragers. Krissa, rest in peace, you great nun. But I know we likely have suitable replacements. Such as this old man who, I mean, he's currently ill, but with time, he'll get better. Yeah, we're gonna take the fight up to you. %, war score, as we captured another one of their vassals. Done and done. Sibutka and Ghaznavid. The region between Persia and India is a troubled one. Ever since the Sassanid Empire fell, the Iranian plateau has been in a state of chaos, with local rulers struggling over the hegemony of the trade-rich region. Once a slave, Sibutka is now taking up arms and is rallying his followers. Locals tell of a rapidly expanding empire and fear they will topple all other rulers in the region. Troubled region. Well done. Glory is widely known, exalted among men. How much do we need for temple holding? 188 gold more. Now if prisoners can be ransomed. Oh yeah, we can get some out of them. And I can ask the head of faith for gold, really. Oh, Papani, you leveled up to 92. You old bastard. 1 plus 1. Sizable treasury. Because you have a sizable treasury and you had no idea what to do with it? Come on, ask me. He probably heard me that I've been building churches as a way of, penance for my sin as a vengeful person. And also my health is doing poor, which, by the way, 2 things. Get a tattoo. Small health boost. Just to hold it off a little longer. And you're gonna have to do the reinforced relations Silk Road communities finally. Question is who? Middle Eastern, that's for stewardship. Indian, that's for +1 learning. East African, that's prowess, which my prowess is still pretty good for my old ass. Southeast Asians, that's for faster travel speed and safer travels. But since I'm a man of stewardship these days, go for Middle Eastern. The land and seas of the so-called Silk Road have been a vibrant melting pot of different peoples for generations, perhaps even before the rise of great empires of Han, Rome, or Persia. Thanks to these extensive networks, there are flourishing communities with origins from across Eurasia, even in my realm. Cooperating with them may be helpful if I am to achieve my ambitions. In particular, I decided to reinforce relations with the Middle Eastern communities in my realm. The merchant networks of Iranian, Arabian, and Jewish origin can be found across the Silk Road. Wherever trade may flow, anyone who seeks to encourage commerce and development will look for their aid. If you do good business with them, you can all surely prosper and grow. Thank you. You and I never saw each other eye to eye, but I needed the gold because I said, I'm doing this for the duty of the Lord. I'm here to build churches and more. Alright, it's good enough. Now remember about your line of succession. Who's getting what? Agatha will get Pakoras. Reyes, okay, will get Firim, our capital. Abu Hamad goes to Zerebecca, even though she's in South Kordofan. Mariska will also get a dub, while Agatha will also get a lucky. For the sake of, in the need of development. And it's also safer out there. We're going to build this here. This is for a big renown increase. Not to mention huge piety increase. So it's 600 some odd gold to build a temple holding, which will take about 6 years' time. By the way, that matter of building construction time, not holding construction. That's a big difference. Yeah, big difference. So you know what? Disregard the wandering. And I'm not all concerned about my health anymore. Just go on domain focus. Want to pick this up. And we've got to have this and this. All that. And more. And let's establish relations with these pirates again. They say it may take 6 years. Building, holding, construction time. Try it. Message from the governor of Aswan. The messenger has arrived from my counterpart across the border between Egypt and Nubia. Wali Agron with a letter and a small but appropriate gift. Communication between the two sides is crucial, maintaining peace between our lands. So I read the letter quickly, which begins as such. I informed the Lord of the Mountain that the bearer of this letter, my lord and respectful servant, please treat him well and correctly provide him with his requirements. I send you greetings and well wishes in gratitude. Our letter continues on with expected formalities and discussions on matter pertaining to the border. The letter's language appears neutral and proper, if stilted and lacking substance. Bureaucratic formality, it seems. I appreciate these words. Respond politely. Now it takes 3 years to be built. As I said, we want this done. I've heard rumors about a noble and valiant warrior woman in the distant land who is immortal and stands guard over an ancient gate made of marble and obsidian. Those who best are in combat will be allowed into the gate, which is a portal to a heavenly paradise, the most peaceful and pastoral landscape one can live in with no worries nor fears. If it did exist, could I go there? I don't need it. I have all I need here. $100 gold. You got it. So it's 7 some odd gold for you to construct a temple holding. Sometimes I wonder even why do I even have that perk other than Courtier and Guest picking it up. I could reset that perk. I mean, all of the perks that I chose will be maintained. It's just all I need is to change this one, so just do it. Okay. Keep these. I'll have cutting cornerstones so abilities will be cheaper. So that way the next perk I'll get will be faster construction time. I'm no longer the, you know, the person who's, you know, the culture head. So get this, this, this. And note thyself, I gotta have that so I'll know when do I pass due to natural causes. All of this will be retained. Well, it just jumped up for you again. Well, hope you're ready to rule these lands, because it's nothing going to be like that. Even though you do start off older than anticipated, which means it's likely your rule will begin in your 40s. Unless something happens to me. And meanwhile, well, keep the inspector. Alright. Just see if I want to get rid of that and put that there. So buildings will be slightly cheaper. Even that doesn't make much of a difference, but you get the idea. My sister died of pneumonia. That could be a potential issue in regards of line of succession. Apep's Pestilence? Apep. Isn't that named after, so to walk through Overhaul is to be treated to a dreadful symphony of human suffering. Pestilence come to this unassuming hamlet, The lumpy skin of the diseased is bright red and painful to touch. They sweat even in the cold. I have the look of the leper in his eyes. Already people call this infection Apep Pestilence. At least half of the peasant population has been affected. It's only a matter of time until it spreads to nobility. Apophysis Apep, I just looked it up. Ancient Egyptian deity of the underworld who embodied darkness and disorder, and was thus the opponent of light and Ma'at, which is order and truth. Ra was the bringer of light, hence the biggest opposer of Apophysis. Symbolized by the snake. Let's wonder how we referenced an old thing from long ago as a reason for this pestilence, but it says it's a major measles outbreak and chances of contracting here is 100%. So does that mean it's already in my holding? I mean, where did it start? It started in Tagali. It started last month and originated from the city of Tagali down at the corner of the edge of the known world of where the White Nile comes from. And it's been spreading down the Nile, and it's likely going to come towards here. Summon the physician, so you may want to get ready. Because it's only a matter of time. The dim flickering light of Taberna's infirmary illuminates the scene as the physician lays out the plan of the attack. Those afflicted by Apep's pestilence are besieged by red spots like I've never seen before. This plague risks destabilizing the entire realm. Our feeble crops will be decimated if we do not take radical action. Altering the exact strategy for preventing the spread of this plague is mine to make. Desperate measures are required. Risky treatment. Measles is deadly, especially to children. I would not last if I were to get it. Plus it's spreading fast, so you better come up with something fast. It's already spread to Dongala. It's crossing the... it's going down the Nile. This war has taken a tremendous toll on the economy. Taberna's treatments have led to countless lives being lost. The peasants, already weak from the ravages of disease, could not withstand the onslaught of bloodletting and leeches. This loss of life seemed to probably increase the spread of disease, as miasma clings to the corpses and infests the lungs of the healthy. Oh. Oh. Damn it, man. This will not happen again, you understand me? I'll say this just this once, okay? Okay, that's it. You gotta isolate the capital. We gotta watch that disease. It's spreading like wildfire. It started where the Nile began and it's going down along with it. And it's likely gonna come up here. And there's a good chance it'll reach us here. 5th of October, 6th of October. A big issue was raised yesterday in a formal meeting with my vassals. As I presented my political plan for the development of the realm, I'm soon met with resistance from my vassals. All in all, they complained about intermission in their private affairs and property. Unfortunately, I lost my temper to the defense, and my position started to be seen as a great sign of tyranny on my part. Nubia, my chancellor, was present at the table and signaled her attention to help me solve the matters as smoothly as possible. I must decide quickly what will I do to address this unfortunate situation. My learning's pretty good, so let's see. So the lower tyranny penalty. A good learning skill. I don't have scholarly circles. Unfortunately, I do have impatience, so this lowers the chances. You are a Chancellor. Well, she doesn't have the good traits either. Insert the position and risk tyranny. So I'll just say I'll assert my previous position. So there'll be tyranny while I gain prestige and legitimacy. Still spreading. It made it up to Courtiers Road. Itching closer and closer. Don't go into seclusion just yet. Wait a minute. Don't we have control plagues? Why didn't we think of that? It had the effects on me. Decision, yes. Why didn't we think of that? I almost never do that and tend to forget that option even exists. Just to have some income of telling them to stop doing these tasks. %19 chance it'll come to here. But it may likely bypass us and spread to there next. The powerful boar of Kyrgyz. Yeah, that's nice to know, but there's a really bad thing out there. Apep's Pestilence. I don't know how you pronounce that. And now already comes into casualties. Fatalities, I should say, from the Measles. Still spreading. All over the river valleys. Both the White Nile and the Blue Nile. And in my domain is one of the more developed territories of Nubia. And even that's vulnerable. They're just one county away from entering. Because it'll soon enter into Courtiers, which is vulnerable. Whereas I'm trying to do everything in my power to prevent this pestilence to spread to my domain directly. Seriously? There's an ongoing war over there? Still spreading, but at least it's in the south now. Or where it's going. It reached all of the Nile. $28, $29. Pelagia. you've yet to have a child, and that could potentially be a problem. "2 years till that church is built. I'm still doing fine, as I had to put a tattoo on myself as a way to try to, deal with healthiness and all that. I just want to be around long enough to build churches and get renown. Because that's my life's priority now. I guess it stopped spreading. It hasn't come up here yet. Even though we botched the treatment of how to prevent this disease, but I think it's starting to go away now. Because I could see some spots that look, not as infected, but still bad. See? 30 fatalities. I wonder how they named it after an old ancient Egyptian deity. Because it's almost as if, well, the memories of it among the Nubian cultures hasn't been forgotten. Thank goodness. What's my birthday again? December 14th. Alright. It's interesting, I never really put much investment in that land. But remember, it's susceptible, vulnerable to plagues and all that. But now I'm more interested in church building. People in my mound continue to be beset by Apep's pestilence. Superstitions rife among their number. I've been informed they're blaming the plague on the supernatural quality of cats. Well, this ain't ancient Egypt anymore, where cats are revered. They believe that somehow common house cats are carrying the plague with them, or cursing the common people with their presence. The belief is so widespread that areas the most affected by the plague began slaughtering the cats en masse. These acts have been condemned broadly by the priests of the realm, but nevertheless the trials continue. Perhaps our answer lies in the scriptures. Get more control growth over these areas that were affected, particularly Abu Ramad, where the gold is. Recently I detected an attempt by someone I can only be part of my council to smear me among the Courtiers. Guests and vassals of mine are susceptible to be influenced. This bad word about me can only be spoken out of contempt about my person, which without proof perhaps points to Tibu. I must be on my guard about possible future attempts to defame me again. Perhaps I'll reshuffle the council positions might accommodate someone with a better opinion of myself as in order. Well, I am a vengeful person, and my intrigue isn't good. With dread and all the other factors. Try to attempt to disclose the true intriguer. Again, 32 fatalities, if Codisco Road being the last remnant of it. Unfortunately, the terror I inspired others turned against me have a direct consequence, an insidious action for someone who decided to get rid of me once and for all. As such, while at night, an empty alcove of my castle lost my thoughts. I am viciously attacked by a mysterious and dark figure that swiftly approaches me with the shadows. Immediately, I'm certain his objective is my utter and final demise. Fortunately, my bodyguard is close to me to offer significant protection. 18% chance I might die, 43% chance that one of my bodyguards gets killed. Marquess Tapara of Nobadia rests in the arms of the Lord at 50 years of age. He was killed in an attack. Known to be an exceptional strategist, he spent many of his days examining fields and drilling his troops. What a man he was. I mean, honestly, he was getting that age where I'm like, you know what, alright whenever he passes away, even though we tried to do everything to prolong it a little, but his time was coming. So, yes, he was assassinated, or killed in an attack. He was dreaded, he was exalted among men, and paragon of virtue. Perhaps the greatest ruler of our dynasty's history. He was gallant and inspector, fought in 8 wars, and hosted 13 activities, 4 monument expeditions, 2 hunts, 2 inspections, 2 university visits, 1 pilgrimage to St. Anthony's Monastery, and 1 other pilgrimage to St. Catherine's Monastery, and just a plain pilgrimage. And attended 2 feasts. Now, Marquess Maria Esosico, is that how you say the name? Ascends to the throne, a petty and spiteful woman. Her vassals will need to tread carefully around her. And as far as I can see, she's pregnant. So she's finally going to have a child of her own. Okay. We have Firum, and we do have the port, which is I'm happy with. Church remains under construction. And she's done quite a bit of traveling herself. As a woman of martial principles, she only has this. Almost a stewardship perk. She's good at just about everything except for diplomacy, unfortunately. Temporarily, go for domain focus. Just to get these 2 perks. And get this because I'll have a child soon. I would like to raise it. She's anonymous. Oh, she's about to give birth. Okay. Although much like her father, she too is also provincial, but she's more shy and rather fickle. So this makes, assassination plots against her with a hostile scheme seem unlikely, and takes longer. But a natural dread, she does have some of it, but not enough to be like her father, again. We do have everything we need. Isn't there a stewardship book we have around here somewhere? Ah, here it is. Switch to that. Unfortunately, the good marshal is not a friendly man. And neither is he. Because of the women's law around here. That's why they largely disliked me. Unless you're a female character yourself. We'll give you your jobs. But some do not deserve more than others. So she's going to have a troubled rule. Her rule's going to be troubling. In other words, be careful who you trust. Because there's many factors at play. Difference of traits, opinion, my legitimacy, all that. Hell, not even the Marquess likes me. Because he's zealous. I've really got to change my ways. We can end the capital isolation right now. Since the disease is practically, gone right now. But I inherited a lot of wealth. Which we're not quite ready to build another. But I do have claims for Kyrgyz, Shamir, and Duchy of Shamir. I'm well aware. It's tyranny because you don't have a claim to it. Although that's my, sister. It's part of Nobadia. Get a weak hook on her. I do have lots of prestige for it, though it's considered a bit of tyranny, and is willing to do so. Because you know what I would do? It's like, yeah, she might accept, but get a hook on her and tell her to get out so I can have that gold mine again. Because I have every right to rule these territories myself. And I got the request claim. Or just simply claim the title, but of course the Pope will never accept that because, I'm a woman and sinner. And this I cannot claim, but I can at least try to bypass it. And also, by the way, may I remind her that, it's like, yeah, you may be my sister, but you're Kushitic faith. That's an evil religion around here. But however, there's a problem with that. The Coptic faith is pluralist, not righteous. So we can simply tell her to get out by first things. I'll use a little bit of tyranny and use some of that prestige. These 2 court artifacts if we ever held a kingdom title. Oh, what else? Would I hold a funeral for my father? I mean, he was a great man. But having more legitimacy would be good to have. I mean, that could solve a few things. I don't know if she'll be around that time when we introduce primogeniture. And don't get too ahead of yourself, because you're about to give birth. There's this off chance that her reign will be cut very, very, very short and die in childbirth. There's a chance of that. And then it'll go to someone who's exalted erudite, which you don't have any skills for it. No, that wrong one, dummy. This one. So, who knows what it may look like. But I'm simply asking her for a favor. There are whispers about the tales and deeds of my father, the exalted among men, Marquess Taberna. Everywhere I go, near or far, there is no one that has not heard of his name. I wonder, will I always stay in the shadow of my father, or will I be able to achieve as much fame in my life as him? How high will I be able to climb? One day I will be like you, Taberna. I talked to countless mothers and midwives, taking their advice to heart. Yet when my time arrived, I realized that no amount of preparation could ever be enough. The pains were all-consuming, and I feared for my life. But I made it through, and I have a perfect little son. One day, child, you will carry on my legacy. What name? But such a mighty hero, a mighty lord. You might as well be a hero in future. Lazarus. I like the sound of that name. Okay, got you the hook. I want you out of here. Yes, I'll lose the legitimacy, but I will compensate for the lack of legitimacy. Because we need the gold. We have coastal sea access. And we got the trade, which will occur every November 20th. Oh, and the old man just kicked the bucket here. Okay, now. But obviously, this man does not endorse me. He was a hunter prior. Fortunately, he's rather callous. Let me compliment you first, and then try to sway you further, so we can get an endorsement and get some income from the church holdings, including one under construction. Send it over. Get it up with time. Yeah, we needed the gold here. And now, yeah. If you can get more legitimacy up, popular opinion will go up and hopefully prevent other bad things from occurring. And maybe befriend some members of my council. Maybe. We'll try to get them on my side. Especially Obizo. 75 and healthy. And, of course, in the future, gotta build another Christian religious building. Even though it was recently built there. Maybe perhaps I'll move a capital over there. Build a Christian religious building there, and then go over there. Yeah. Genius. Commission a donor portrait if you want a little more renown. Oh yeah, go talk to these pirates again. Just for a little bit of income, but it will hurt my legitimacy in the long run. Look, I could save the money to build another temple holding there, but no, funeral first. Temple. At least Sarah is closer. It's pretty convenient. The great father. See if you can befriend the spy master of Basil. Only 99? Alright. I mean, yeah, she's done some traveling and visiting all these places, but never like these. Maybe perhaps I should go on a pilgrimage to go pick all these up. But until then. Since you're fickle, you get to have that. But anyways. Oh, and another thing. Look, it's nice to have the option to hike and all that. Actually, you know what? That's a good idea. Another way to befriend someone. Just go on a hike with someone. Yeah. That's a thought. But first, funeral. Sarah's to be Tapara's final resting place. I'm left alone to gather my thoughts and prepare to arrival of the honored mourners. I can't find Obezo anywhere yet. I eagerly wait for his arrival so my plan to befriend him can finally start. I'll never forget my father. Of course, there are those who wish to get rid of me. That wants the Nobadian throne. You want to make me Chancellor instead of Marshal? That's an insult, but I'll take it. What does it do for me? Fellow vassal appeals 15 and more prestige and diplomacy lifestyle. Eh. Intimate reckoning. Perhaps as a way to try to appeal to them. Gotta get rid of one of the traits. I mean, fickle is alright, but I want to get rid of shy or vengeful for something else. So, this decision presents rules of midlife crisis, allowing them to reflect on their past and choose whether to change one of their personality traits. So you have an opportunity to change one random personality trait. Stress cost increases if you choose to replace the trait by its opposite. Well, it's very difficult for someone to predict how I react to some event, circumstance, or emergency. As volatile nature has helped me somewhat, but also makes everything harder as nobody knows where I stand upon any important matter. Perhaps I would be more effective if I strive to curb this fickleness and conjure a common ground and pattern to my decisions. Analyzing my whole life through this new angle, I feel an anguish deep burning inside myself. Who am I? What do I want to be? Getting rid of fickle for a random trait, or get rid of fickle for the opposite, which is stubborn. Which does give me more stewardship, which I do appreciate that. Disease resistance though, but your liege, the king, will not like you as much. Neither is your vassals. The only thing is certain, the vengefulness isn't going to go away. Your stewardship is great enough, especially with event planner. I think a change of priorities might be in order, so let's have a random personality trait. And she is greedy. Now that knocks down my diplomacy even more. I mean, she was never that much diplomatic to begin with. But it does increase a bit more monthly income. And If she ever gets stressed, well then that's more income. So I'm okay with greedy. So now we'll know that diplomacy is never her strong suit. And it's gonna hurt her in the long run. So she's not gonna be a particularly well-liked ruler as the Marquess. Hell, she's not even her fighting skills is average, despite all this. And we haven't even looked at what else. Royal favor. Probably go for knights again. Core reputation. Military renown. Oh yeah, she has that going for her. Council agenda. There is a power struggle because, you know, there's this perceived weakness about her. Plus, the court chaplain and the spy master are going against her. Inner circle, which does help, but the main text is due to confidants. Bestow royal favor on the knights. Earn tyranny for these things. Just looking at these. So yeah, her rule is going to be challenging for a couple of years, no doubt. Her low diplomacy makes her a not well-liked character. So even my liege dislikes me. And remember, this is due to a combination of all current women's law and all that. Since we live in a patriarchal society, unfortunately. Hunched beside me, the Brit of the pretense of propriety, the inconsolable Dorico gazes out to nothingness before her. Not a tear falls from her eyes, not a word passes her mouth till she turns to me. God can be cruel indeed. Why does the wind still yet blow? Why does the sea continue to push its sword? Why does my body ache for food and thirst for water? The day of judgment is upon us. My uncle is dead. I'll just say quietly nod, trying to get my stress down, because I had a bit of a personality change. I'm no longer fickle, but greedy. In a quiet corner of the church, I overhear Countess Agatha Pacoris chatting with a group of mourners. Solemn gestures over. We all have fond memories of Marquess Taberna Nobadia. I was talking about the time that I inherited the county of Pacoris, and one other from my father, Marquess Taberna. Tell me, you had memories to share? This is not a competition. Don't be talking about such things. Is he even here? The man is supposed to befriend. Oh, Bezo. He's here. I'm trying to befriend him. Whenever that opportunity presents itself. My husband publicly calls me a fiend. Made a friend, abandoned a claim on your title. How nice of you. Well, at least you're one I could truly call a friend. disparaging remarks by my spouse. All the figures venerated and villainous, none ever desired more than our departed Marquess Nobadia. With his crowd of weavers and gawkers finding other subjects to satisfy their fascination, I'm at last left with a moment of solace between myself and my father. Time for a quiet prayer. Fortunately, the increase in stress did not carry any long-lasting consequences of my well-being. I'm safe for now. Every time you go up a stress level, there's a 5% chance of suffering a dangerous, crippling, and potentially fatal stroke. This time you were lucky. Be aware there are other risks along the time when you're over 99 stress points. Lately, it feels like I've been constantly distracted by the vicious thoughts and erotic fantasies. With all the hardships of my everyday life, it's all too easy to lose myself in daydreams and forget about reality. These desires are clearly interfering in my life, but what should I do about them? Why on earth would I want to introduce a total heresy in here? That goes against Antiquity, Gnostics, unrelenting faith, and there are no holy sites here that would be beneficial. Food is purification. Everything is criminal. Almost. I could become a reclusive, which I would lose a friend, but okay, that hurts more. I'll bite my lip and try to stay focused. Now, buildings are slightly cheaper. Now all we need is pick up professional workforce, and things will be built faster. Now the time has come to commit Marquess Nobadia's final rites for his journey to the hereafter. His shroud body is held suspended above an open grave, surrounded by close friends and family, set as his head is made. A privileged place of mourning afforded only to the magnanimous host. To see him surrounded by so many mourners and given a proper Coptic burial gives me hope that perhaps I too will be remembered as fondly as Marquess. At last, his body is lowered into the earth and the funeral is officially completed with the prayer. Beautiful. Failed to befriend though. Yes, I'm intelligent, but... And yes, I'm pilgrim in past. But you are in a world of hurt. Oh my god, the Blemians are in the offensive and they took Naka. The only thing I'm talented at is martial. But let me process routine paperwork for this time. Just for starters. Okay, the document here says, if Gabriel Kuda, who is the Volsi of the matter, I will inform David, and I cannot send another letter of my colleague, as they are eating as I write this. Okay, that's a pretty simple document to be noted about. We'll get all that nice gold income again. Proposed trade with the king himself. So, pays me a lot of gold as a sign of goodwill. So, he gets all of these great things because we have everything here. Thanks to our connection to sea and all that. Okay. Allies trade a 50% discount. Vassals each 20. So he loses that, and as payment, the merchant pays all this to me. Thank you. Almost quite there. Till we build another temple holding. Which will definitely jump up on the progress towards the next Desert Mountains Fever. It's minor. Not again. It's because these damn things. Let me compliment him first. Because I think it's going to take too damn long to sway him. Especially that I've done a bit of a tyrannical thing. You know, my chances aren't good at swaying anyone. We'll have another child. To nurture relationships between the next generation of rulers is a duty we should not neglect, says Marquess. Some of your influential vassals have children, and I am certain that Lazarus would benefit from knowing. My son and heir, yes. And that would probably be a good influence. Let them befriend one another. Oh, you better not come up here. Powerful board of Kalabsha. Something we ought to think about. Because money is about to be built on for another church. That's where it's going for. And that's just one of those legacies I find. One started by my father, and one's going to be left by me. We're doing this for our renowned the dynasty. Guess it's not spreading further. Here it is. It says it'll take 6 years' time. Whereas we've been doing it for less. And there are ways to do it if we can get professional workforce. Well, I'm a shy person, so it's not worth my time. Can't be doing that. I don't know. I'm a shy person. Get away from me. Maybe. Just do it just this once, okay? I'm good. You're stressing me out for asking me such things. A cousin and then a king. At least the king will stop antagonizing me. Just leave me alone. I'm just tended to be a bit stressed. But now, build that temple. 6 years' time. Which means I could petition and pay homage with little no issue. Zerebecca, my sister, who ruled Kordofan. She didn't rule Kordofan. She was, you know, formerly ruling Abu Hamad. I told her to get out and Well, I lost stress for that. She didn't particularly like me much. Alright. They actually relaxed the women's rights a little. Thank goodness. So it's no longer a strict patriarchy. Now it's, what do we call it? No, it's not total subjugation, but now it's strict patriarchy. While women have some minor protections from extreme abuse, the law enforces the dominance of men within the family and society. Women cannot inherit property or engage in trade without male consent. They require a male guardian while appearing in public. Marriages are arranged by the male head of the family, and women have no say in these matters. Though physical abuse is discouraged, the authority of men over women retains nearly absolute. Compare that to, any defiance is severe punishment, and it's sanctioned by law. Not anymore. Does lower the fertility a bit for the men. But at least it helps the development, growth, and a cultural fascination, so we can stop looking backward within Nubian society. Just hope that women will look at more fondly, and like in the olden days. Especially on my realm, there's plenty of female rulers here. Greedy, 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 greedy. Oh, Basil. Please, help me. Although he'll never betray me as he's intimidated by me. Peasant rabble. Yeah. I really gotta do something about that stress. High taxes. Is that Rebecca? I blame you for this. I'll tell you what. Shrine's finally been built and renown just jumped. What, you don't build breweries? Guess it's a Catholic thing. Orthodox thing, but go up real quick to some random church. A second son. Raphael, name it after the Archangel, yes. Go to here, for example. Or to there. There, whichever's got the damn, breweries. Guess it's a Catholic thing, not a Coptic thing. But it's a step in the right direction. One of the best ways to reduce stress is, just go on some little pilgrimage out there somewhere. No! Go hiking. A shy satisfaction. How wonderful is that we've left behind the reckless extravagance of the past. No more grand feasts, no more endless parties and unnecessary commitments. The realm is now run smoothly without the burden of over-the-top diplomacy, and I can focus what truly matters. Governance, peace, and stability. Nobles have finally seen reason, pulling back from their aggressive pursuits of social power. We can now conserve our resources to keep the treasury healthy without constrained expenditures on pomp and pageantry. It's a relief to lead in such calm and sensible times. Strict diplomacy is necessary. So I feel a little bit more better about this. I forgot. Okay, why don't you have another way to... You know what? In case if it's become difficult to try to sway my husband like this. Actually, no, he's easier to. Especially when I let the tyranny go down and among other things. It's the spy masters who I'm more concerned about. Heaven forbid he becomes my rival. I should go on a hike with him. Like a hike up in these here mountains. Basil isn't coming? Guess you can't do that with council members. Only your knights and a duke. In my case. Okay, you're coming with me then. This will be a short hike, just befriend each other. Even though, mind you, I'm shy. It's just kind of contradicting. And sometimes I can hike alone. Actually, you know what? No. That's more sensible for her character. Stop. Get rid of that option. Get rid of that option. Go hike alone. Be a recluse. Yeah. That sounds more like her. Recreation. Just go out all by yourself up in the desert mountains. We'll just deal with it. Activity will be shorter. I'm going alone. I just needed to get out. Just me and the caravan master to take me there. Finally, the open road lies before me. Soon I set foot in the mighty mountains of beautiful deity. Oh, how I long for its spiny scrub and sweet-smelling hibiscus. To see pigeons flying through the open skies above me. I must be a hurry. Can't wait. Not again. God damn you. Low opinion of trait compatibility. Unusual quote. Cuisine. Alright, here we are. During my travels, I came to a rather friendly village of deity. The locals were respectful and kindly gave us supplies. A few members of my traveling caravan were suspicious, but nothing unusual happened. Such nice people out there. My retinue and I have finally arrived in deity. And just for a moment, I'm taken in by the view. Streams of water carved new paths through the mountainsides during the rainfall, softening the landscape at a short moment. With the monsoon soon upon us, maybe this is a poor time to put the hardships and nobility aside. I sort of miss the indoors right now. What timing? Rain out here? That's fairly irregular. I saw a desert fox. Lose stress. Came across a fantastic view. Fame gain. Found a natural arch in the wilds. More fame gain. As the weather gradually worsens, I suddenly spot something emerging from the undergrowth ahead. A surprisingly large air stops just a few steps in front of me. Its gaze meeting mine as it notices my presence. It lasts only a moment before the animal abruptly bounds back into the wilderness. Curious little thing. I just want stress reduction all the way. Getting tired of this back and forth. As we continue up the slope, slowly, one step at a time, it's been a long day, and I could feel my thighs burning. I'm only trying to focus on putting one foot in the other at this point. One of my guards helps me the last couple of steps. Suddenly we find ourselves on the ledge, and I can see the valley stretching up below us. a tapestry of green and brown. I completely missed how far up we had come due to the exhaustion and strain of the journey, but now all is worth it. What a sight for sore eyes and legs. Found some rest by a quiet river, loose stress. Found some desert lilies. As we traveled through Darahib, there are two birds following us for hours. It's just slowly circling around us, landed too far away to be in danger, and crying at us from afar. As I get closer for a second, I see their black and white plumes. After a while, they circle once and then fly away. Even after they are gone, we can still hear their singing in the distance. Well, one for sorrow, two for luck. With one last step, I finally leave the desert mountains of Darahib and look back one last time, reminiscing about my journey through the desert mountains. In this tranquil place, I've been able to put my worries aside and return a jubilated and changed woman. Reluctantly, I turn around, put the memories aside, and start heading home to the duties that are surely waiting for me. Alas, such is the way of life. The road takes us at treacherous parts of Sayala. While I scan out for any dangers ahead, a rustling bush grabs my attention. Could it be a wild animal? Brace yourself for impact. Jalil jumps out of the bush instead, holding a plant. You scared me, John. Alright, let me see what you have here. Some kind of fruit? Yes, it looks delicious and smells so delicious. I wonder what it tastes like. Maybe I'll just take a little bite. Let him eat it. Damn. Wish I had that. Well, at least I got rid of stress. The hike did its job. Now this land's finally Coptic. Keep it up. Oh, hell. I mean, it can't be denied. I'm also a great commander if you put me out in the lead. You can stop with the development now. I want you to go to Fitter to cut the target. Okay, let's end the episode with this little chain event. There are fair stretches of unsettled land in the county of Apep. Oh yeah, definitely. And off they blade on unsuitable terrain. It's all desert. My steward, Marquess, has suggested that an irrigation project might make it arable, thereby valuable. I will design an aqueduct. I'm willing to put money into that. This is just to get this building built faster. And I'll soon, hopefully the chain event goes well. My appointed assistant architect comes to me, requests that I spend even more on my architect project in County of Vietnam. Sure yourself you can see that Any construction project would be expensive under these conditions, my lady. Well, I'm a greedy person, so I'll say, Marquis, find me a replacement. I had such high hopes for this one. 27% chance of significant progress, 50% chance to continue problems, project continues, 22% chance of trouble construction. Troubled construction. Oh dear. Competent chancellor, but they all hate my guts. My father, the great Marquess Taberna, was killed in an attack a long time ago. Yet the flame of his life still shines bright. What surrounds him never seemed to follow me. Many still consider me as his daughter rather than a woman in my own right. Just yesterday, an old peasant was praising him as if he was still alive. The time has come to step out of the shell, to make my mark on the world, to be recognized as the great Marquess. Nor remember him as my father. Low penny vassals are higher skillful chancellor. Well, don't you know? None of them like me, except for those in the council and friends. Especially him. Resources delivered to the wrong place, structures not matching to what I had in mind. Which part of the order, build an aqueduct the way I wanted, is so hard to follow. I'll manage the works myself. I got very good stewardship challenge ahead of me. Significant progress. Neglected duties. It's all because of my shyness, being female, and among other things. Well, this is an opportunity to show your worth on the battlefield. You're not like your father, where you have these same advantages, but see if we can defeat them. I'm an unproven military commander, and this is the first time I lead an army. I'm to present the witness of the last stones being placed on the new aqueduct in the county. My steward holds out a cup and catches the first few drops of flowing water before offering it to me. The ground is still hard and inhospitable, and much work remains, but the water is fresh and will in time bring new life to the soil. As the rivulets become a stream, I reflect all my work has taught me. Even decades from now, we will reap reward from this. Alright, I actually got a perk. Okay, remember. It's about 22 months left till this temple holding is finished. And now it'll only take 7 months! I would switch around and go for these now. Especially War Profiteer. Because we have an awesome military, which it can't be called into question. So proven otherwise, so let's get them. Yes, they have more soldiers, but this is our real test. Defeat these raiders. advantage goes to him, but I think we're gonna... As the dust settles, I catch my breath. Across the field, maybe 100 paces away, stand a lone enemy, his armored and bearing on those of a common soldier. He looks like a knight or a commander. I feel his gaze make yours across the distance. Sudden sharp tension cuts through the chaos. For a moment, it feels like only two of you exist on the battlefield, and your heart pounds. Oh, hell. This ends between us. This is a bad idea, but I needed to prove my worth. For a few brief moments, Takel and Martin paced in lazy half circles, each watching for an opening. I heft my Abdul's battle axe ready to defend myself while he clutches his axe from in hand. This one ready to tell first blood, but that doesn't ease my nerves. With a sudden twitch, our bout begins. Mara cracks his neck, then starts raining blows against my guard. A marathon of powerful cleaves almost break with their relentless ferocity. Damn. He'll never see this coming, so surprise attack from an unexpected angle. Spotting a weakness, I throw myself, and hefting my axe to drive him back with one powerful cleave. Thompson's defense stance, doing his absolute best to warn me off. The man's eyes follow my movement. My form is good, with only small errors. His stance passable. My opponent is still holding off my blows well, but he seems close to faltering. Like... Defy not the lion, scum. It is also. I charge in, swinging wildly. Roaring my defiance, I throw myself wholeheartedly into a bevy of powerful cleaves, raining blow after blow down on my opponent. Predictably, it's not long before I force him out to his knees, and from there it's just one long, lazy swing to bring my axe's edge to his throat. The heel comes the second the cold metal touches his neck. Even though he's been killed in a duel. Prestige goes up, so is my legitimacy and duel victory during this battle. So I got him. Killed one of their combatants. As the barony of Kyrgyz rages on, I find myself drawn into the fight more than usual. Picking my fights, I manage to slay a few of the enemy footmen. And with the protection of my guardsmen and Vinyana, for a moment I feel indestructible, cutting through waves of foes of my soldiers like a squad of elite warriors. Then it happens. My lady, shouts a familiar voice as I die in front of me and take the fatal blow depths of my chest. This blow came from none other than Leon, who wrenches their blade from the lifeless, bloody body of Vinyana, placed towards me to deftly attempt. You pay for that, Leon. I don't know why it's because I'm vengeful. So, 43% chance that I avenge him by slaying with combat and I become an aspiring blade master. 39% chance that we wound each other until we can no longer fight. 11% chance that we wound each other, much more till we can no longer fight, which considered, or 5% chance that he that he kills me. As Leon charges towards me, I take a step back. Blade at the ready, swinging his blade violently at my chest. I block it perfectly and jab it with the shoulder of his soul down. Whilst he wails in pain, unable to swing back, I draw my blade to his side and swing it through the base of his neck. Leon's head that tumbles through the floor before me, eyes and mouth still frantically moving. I stop momentarily to usher a prayer for No, it's not time for grief. I return to the battle, shaken but alive. I've won, and at what cost? I avenged her. So, killed another. He has the advantage, but it's too late now. Alright, proceed. I forgot to turn that on. Stood on a ridge overlooking at the Battle of the Barony of Kyrgyz. A short distance from the front lines, me and the commander observed the enemy's forces' movements. Everything is going as planned in accordance to what I had organized at the start of the battle. Suddenly, turns to me and points at an unexpected enemy rush to the weaker section of our main force. We must reposition our men to defend that charge, he says, before asking himself to assist the commander in tactical changes needed. I'll just go and fix that mess. So he'll attempt to go and command a defensive push. 80% chance that he successfully defends the enemy push, and I'll pick up Organizer. 90% chance he fails. After sending to halt the enemy advance, I continue working on the strategic execution of other tactical plans I made before the battle. A few minutes pass as I'm distracted by the other happenings. Poor man just startles me. Appearing next to me, slightly blood-stained but alive. Did you see that, my lady? He says. Like all the enemy's advanced to demolish and the battle back to Taberna. I was watching the whole time. I'm just impressed. So, faster army movement speed, and we take less retreat losses if we are ever defeated in battle. The battlefield echoes the cries of the wounded as I survey the country. Victory is ours, Marquess. Marshal Tibor declares proudly. Malik Bablemia has fled with his guard, but hundreds of their warriors are scattered and in disarray. You recall the burning villages and the suffering of your people? These raiders showed no mercy. They run like cowards, one of your commanders spits. Give the order and we shall ride them down before the sunset. Soldiers wait eagerly, bloody weapons in hand, for my commander how to deal with the fleeing raiders. Well, as a greedy person, I'll say, catch them alive. They will serve in chains, because we do need the money. What am I going to save up for? Oh, I don't know. How about we build one more temple holding in the far future? Whenever we get 720 gold again. And we're doing that in the name of our dynasty. And maybe perhaps that Countess Agatha that I would like to have. Although requesting a claim is one thing, but you can claim the title. Like it only costs 150. I mean, it's a fair trade, especially whenever you do the whole build a church or a monastery and donor portraits for more renown. Yes, we'll do that in the future. So we hope you people have enjoyed this episode, as we'll be stepping away from there while the enemy's in retreat. Okay, that's enough. So, we hope you people have enjoyed this video. So, there is hope for her yet, despite her diplomacy is gone down a bit, but I think with time, she'll improve herself, and the opinions of others might improve. Even the church endorses me, so they're all getting around. Especially that I've done some things here and there. So, we'll see you in the next episode. But until then, so long for now.